Oh, I thought I removed you. There, there. Oh, hi. My name's Regina, and you are you. Well, you've already seen my guest. Anyway, welcome to Conversations with Regina. Um, Today, I'm really excited. We're going to go on a tour of the Bode Leaf Coffee Trader facility with my good friend Tim, and you guys often want to get to know me, what my life is like. And so this is another part of it. And so we're going to delve into this tour it's just going to be a hoot. And I'm so looking forward to it. It's a little bit different than our format has been prior to this. And oh gosh, it's just great. It's just great. So anyway, this is my channel, Conversations with Regina. And if you could subscribe, and hit that notification bell and be notified, would appreciate it. We're trying to grow. We're over 110 subscribers now. And so let's keep going. I get a little bit more better and at what I'm doing. There's a lot to learn with this, and bless Marty for all her help that she gives me, coaching me along, because who else is there to ask? And so anyway, bless her heart. I just, I'm so unmotivated at times to do stuff. And so it's nice to have somebody to ask questions of and then be able to fix the problem. So she's got a big show coming up this Sunday. It's the end of the month show. And so tune in for that and see who's all on. I don't know. It's the party show, I think. Whatever. It's always a good show anyway. 5:00 Sundays Pacific time. And oh my, what else do we got going on here? We've got a few folks here in the room. Oh, before I forget, hang on now. Hang on. We got to do the Raised Roast stuff. This whole day is about Raised Roast coffee. And so these folks down here at Bode Leaf Coffee Traders are my connection to quality coffee. And so this is like a big deal for me to be able to tour this facility, for them to take the time off to do this. And so we're actually, because Raised Roast pays for pretty much everything that I do on YouTube, I should be given a little bit back, like a day of advertising. Anyway, moving forward, www.raisedroast.com, all small caps, no apostrophes, none of that stuff. Let's take a moment to say hello in the comments. Hi, Christy and Casey. Hi, Holly. Hope everything's good today. Oh, Sarah, where are you? I see that you're here. Hi, Sarah. And Heidi, how's Heidi? And Eva, hi, Eva, all the way out there in New Zealand. And so that's it right now. Have I missed anybody? Maybe Zwa? I don't know how to pronounce that. So hi, anyway, and so if you can give me lessons on pronunciation, I appreciate. Because I hate saying people's names wrong. So anyway, because I want to chit chat with everybody, and where are you located? If I don't know where you're located, you need to tell me. Ha! Nobody needs to tell me anything if they don't want to. I'm pretty easy going on that note. So here we go. Let me introduce my guest. This is Tim DiPolo. He's the salesperson that I deal with at Boat I Leave. I used to deal with Steve, but they've grown so much, that Steve has no time for me anymore. Oh gosh, no, I'm sure if I asked to talk to him, he would talk to me. But Tim's so fascinating. Anyway, he's standing there chomping at the bit, and here he is. Without further ado, here he is, Tim.
Hey, Regina, how's it going today?
Hey, good. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty nice. Broadcasting from Orange, California. It's 72 degrees out. Pretty beautiful day to talk to you and give you a tour.
Is it as clear as it was the other day when we did our test?
Yeah, I don't see a single cloud in the sky. So
God, you just make me eat my heart out. You got a spare bedroom in your apartment there that I can come live in?
Yeah, if anything, we could pitch a tent. Nice. I got a good Coleman 2-person. Fit that out
My
in the back
camping
for
days
you.
are over, honey. My camping days are over. But I would go up to your cabin and kick you out.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway, what do you got in store for us?
So we'll do, I don't know, any questions that you have or that you'd like to give your listeners and viewers a chance to see. We'll do a tour of the roastery, the warehouse, all the bags, and pretty much anything like that you'd like to see. I'd love to go for you. And then you have a cupping ready to go where we're going to cup a couple coffees, and I'll teach you how to cup.
Perfect. Can you see all these comments that everybody's saying hi to you?
I can't. I'm very far from the screen because I wanted to look presentable. So I can't really read anything, but feel free to pass anything along and I'll say hello to everybody again.
Well, Casey says, hey, Tim, love the atmosphere of your shop, but this is just the lab here, isn't it?
Yeah, right now we're in the cupping lab, and when we actually go on the tour, I'll show you around it. But this is where we do all of our quality control, where we decide what coffees we're going to bring in for the year, all that kind of stuff.
So when you start talking about doing coffees for the year, does Steve bring a bag home and then you guys all taste it and give it a score? Or is Steve the official scorer? Who scores these coffees?
So we all score them together as a team, and we use our average to base on what we're going to buy. So yeah, basically we have a quality control manager, the head roaster, myself, and then Steve and our CFO. We all 5 of us cup together, and then some of our other team if they're around. And basically the farmers will just, as soon as the harvest is almost ready, they'll send us a pre-shipment of the samples. Let's say we get 40 of them, we choose 3. When they're ready and the beans are picked and they're ready to be sent out here, it takes about 2 months, and we pre-chose the lots we already liked. So we narrow it down from a huge number of coffees to a smaller, what we actually end up purchasing. And then that's when you would buy one of those lots if one of them met your fancy.
Right. And so, I do single origin varietals. Does most small coffee roasters do single origin varietals, or could you explain to the folks what a single origin varietal is and why it's different than say something that's not?
Yeah, so single origin is when the bean that you're bagging, roasting, giving to your customers from one farm or from one country. So a lot of people will say, oh, I like this blend, but a blend is always going to be different coffees put together, where a single origin is just straight from like one Guatemala Chichen, which is one we're going to taste today. And yeah, a blend, if you're going to try putting 2 coffees, 3 coffees, 5 coffees together that really do balance each other out, like your Queen's blend, which I've heard nothing but great things about. That is not a single origin offering. Whereas if one coffee, like one from Brazil, the AirPods do not stay in my ears, but one from Brazil, one from Ethiopia, that is when it would be considered a single origin coffee.
Right. So a single origin could be like one of those co-ops in Ethiopia or Rwanda, those women co-ops we were talking about the other day, or Colombia, wherever. It'd just be that little area. It wouldn't be the whole country though, would it?
Yeah, just that area. But I think a single origin is also when you're just using one farm or one country, like one bean from that country, if that makes sense. Yeah, not like a blend of different ones.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to clarify there. So, like if you had 3 coffees from Colombia, and one was from the Sierra area, and another one was from the Antigua, I think it is, or Antioch, or I'm not sure, or
Antioquia.
Huh?
Antioquia.
There you go. And one from someplace else, and you put those 3 together, that would not be a single origin varietal.
Yeah, that would be a blend of 3 different coffees.
Right. So, okay. Perfect. Now, and so what would make that better? Because I'm convinced, but sometimes I wonder, well, geez, if I was blending stuff, would my coffees be better or just cheaper?
It really depends. I think that they can enhance themselves. Currently, one of my customers sent me a blend of 2 very different coffees, a natural process, which we'll get into later, which is much fruitier, much heavier body, juicy, and then an Ethiopia washed, which is more of a caramel green tea. And it's a 50-50 exact half blend. And they really suit each other well. The caramel just shines and is brought to the top of the mouth feel by the heavy, juicy natural, which typically it's a very mellow, smooth, light cup if you're drinking in Ethiopia on its own. So I think blends do have a really good place to mess around and try the coffees, but I think the single origin is my favorite way of doing it, just to get the best of what that country has to offer, the best of that bean itself has to offer, and that's what I like about it. We don't taste any blends on the table, obviously, because we're trying to pick one coffee at a time, but we do sell blends here at our store as well. And I don't discourage blends at all. I think that they can really help.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So what percentage of roasters do just single origin varietals, do you think? 50%?
I think it'd be a pretty small, even smaller than 50%. Even most of my really big coffee nerd customers will still have a blend to offer for espresso or something along those lines, because it does help keep your price lower if you're using a really less expensive coffee and then putting only a little bit of a really nice coffee in. But,
and the thing I missed here a second ago was you said that the customer sent you some samples. And
yeah.
I was wondering, are you sitting there waiting for me to send you samples?
I've been waiting for the Queen's Blend for 4 years now, I feel like. I don't know when I'm going to get to taste it. But yeah, I get people sending me little things to try all the time, or just to give feedback. I'm not really waiting. I'd love to taste it if you want to send me a bag, especially for being on live camera, terrified out of my mind. But no, I would take a coffee. But I do get coffees every once in a while to taste and try.
So there is a question here from Christy. Is there a process of tasting coffee one should know to select beans similar to a process of selecting wines? Good question.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're going to do here in a few minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I will explain all that when we get to it, but it's a very good question. And there is a big process. There's a whole range of things that you're looking for, from smell to how they look to the taste and the acidity, everything. So we'll go over that when we start the cupping.
Okay. There was another question up here. Oh dear, I lost it now. Where'd you go, Holly? So, question, where does the mildest, less bitter come from?
Mild and less bitter.
Yeah, that's the question. I don't know if we can actually answer because that's kind of like a roast thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the coffees grown maybe at a mid to lower range don't have as much of that crazy citrus acidity. Um, People associate bitterness and acidity, which isn't always the same, but
Right.
they can be seen together that way. So I would say a mild, just most of, if you go to a coffee shop like a local independent, they're going to have cupping notes on their bags, and chocolate nuttiness, that's what you're looking for if you want to have a less out there, really acidic coffee that's going to taste kind of bitter to you. And then also it goes with the roaster itself. If it's roasted really, really dark, it might taste bitter as well, or really, really light. You got to find
Or
that
if you've
perfect
got
range.
the Robustas will make it bitter too, won't they? If you've got really cheap coffee you're drinking, like at the service station, or those bad espressos and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. That Robusta is not even on, that's not something we offer. We only deal in specialty grade coffee, so it has to cup
Right.
82 points or higher for us to purchase it.
Right. No, I'm with you on that because you know that I only go 85, 86 or higher.
Yeah.
And so I mean you guys are really kind of like the driving force. You make my coffee so good because of your quality that you have there. And then I pick the upper end ones. And so it's a win-win situation.
But then you have to roast it well to get it to stay at that quality, which you do. So it's not just us. You're a pretty awesome roaster.
Well, I'll have to send you a sample and maybe you will change your mind. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I'm scared now. So why don't we I mean, how much you got to do? How do you want to do this tasting thing? Because we don't have all day. I mean, we can go an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more than that, but it takes a little bit of prep time for you.
Yeah, I already did the grinding because I didn't want to subject the viewers to hearing the extremely loud grinding noises. So I have it ready to go. So after the tour or before, whatever you'd like to do, we could
Well, let's
get
do
that
it
up.
first.
Okay. I'm going to get the water heating in.
Okay. And I see that, Liswa. So how's that? Am I doing it good now? Liswa? Liswa. Anyway, I am so glad you're here. This is the first time I've seen you here, and so I'm good. Hi, Simone. Good to see you. Hi, Louise. And so here we go. This is so exciting because I've been wanting to fly down there and do this very thing with these guys. And now I'm doing it virtually because we can't travel. And the last place, Arizona and California, are the places we don't want to travel to. And so yeah. So everybody's doing well. Is Tim doing okay? You guys happy? Simone loves coffee. So what do we have? What coffees are we sampling?
So I did two pretty different ones just so I can explain kind of the different range of what we taste and stuff. But this is a Guatemala washed, which usually means that it's more chocolatey, mild. But this one does have a nice acidity. We'll go over that. And then this one is the Ethiopian natural process. And I'll explain kind of what that means, the difference between a washed and a natural as well.
Okay. Is that like a Yirgacheffe or is that a Harar?
It is a Guji, actually. It's from, it's Artie. So they're always really fruit forward, looking for a lot of berry notes when we purchase one of these. That's what our customers really like, is a strong berry forward in that kind of Ethiopian natural. But yeah, so let me show you here.
Oh, my friend Teresa's here too, someplace. There she is. Hi, Teresa. Oh, I should be like running some questions or some comments up here or something. Everybody just saying hi back and forth to each other as they come in. We've got 15 people watching now, and so we're doing really great.
Nice.
And they're complaining that they don't get to taste. I'm kind of feeling that very same way, Sarah.
Probably in about 2 years, we'll have an app where we can just send the coffee directly to your taste buds, but tech hasn't caught up yet, but we're pretty close.
Oh my God. I'd be cool with it. You know, I've always found the Central American coffees, you know, Holly was asking about the mildness. I find the Central American coffees to be a little more mild than, like, say, the Ethiopian. You know, I'm a big fan of the Yirgacheffe, and you know, I love that coffee, but I don't want to drink it every day. You know, it's kind of like one of those where occasionally I'll have a cup and just fall in love with it all over again. But if I drink it 3 days in a row, say, it's more than, you know, it doesn't appeal to me by the third day. It's not quite as cool. Do you find that occasionally? And why you want a big selection of coffees at your home coffee port?
Oh, totally. I mean, in my house, I have maybe 14 different coffees available. I always have a bunch of bags because I just like to switch it up as often as I can.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, if you're drinking the same thing every day, especially one like an Ethiopia, which is so distinct and is so right there. Here's green tea, caramel. It's like very, very citrusy. That can overwhelm after a few days, and you might want to go to a more mild Colombia that's a lot more chocolatey and something like that. So, all right, this is ready to go. So I'm not very good at multitasking, so you might have to kind of handle this while I do the cupping, but I'll try to answer as much as I can while I go.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to, just to say, to start, it's 11 grams of coffee in each one.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And it's ground pretty coarse, or sorry, pretty fine. We do pretty strong coffees because you want to taste every single part. We taste it within 16 hours of roasting it usually, so it has a good amount of rest time. But these sample roasts are really light because you want to taste everything the coffee has to offer, and it really changes as it brews. It can get pretty, like, right at the beginning you'll taste it and it could be your favorite coffee, and then after 14 minutes of tasting it and as it's cooling down, you're like, oh my gosh, that's one of the worst ones on the table. So you got to be really careful, and we taste it multiple times while we do the cuppings every day. So the first,
interesting. So this is like a really light roast, like prior to the second crack. It's post first crack, though, right?
Yeah, just post first. It's pretty light for a sample roast. I think I'll show you when we go closer, but this is our sample roaster that we do all those on, and it's a really great machine. And you do 50 grams at a time.
Really?
Yeah, that's the Ikawa. I'm going to start it while the water's still going hot. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Quit holding back.
For sure.
So
So cupping is different as well because there's no filter. You're just pouring the water straight onto the grinds.
Right. That's kind of like cowboy coffee we were talking about the other day. At least that's what we call it out here in the West.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's how. Except no socks, thank God. We have no socks that we're filtering it through. But
Well, I never, when I was making cowboy coffee, when I first started getting to be kind of like a coffee person, I was very young and I was living on a boat. I'd run away and was living on a boat, and we had a saucepan on that boat to make coffee with. And so we'd put our coffee in there and we would like heat that up and never let it come to a boil, and if you let your coffee come to a boil, you had to walk the plank, and oh, it was nasty, but I can't remember exactly what we did, but we would like take it off as soon as it started foaming up and take it off. And I don't remember if we sprinkled cold water on it or stirred it or what, but then that coffee would settle and then you'd very carefully pour off the top and
Okay.
and you would have a fairly clean cup of coffee. And it was way better than, percolators were in style back in those days that I was young. Percolators were the latest in coffee manufacturing. And they're talking about your socks here. New socks or old socks? What's the best use for enhanced flavor? Worn a week, Christy, worn a week. And so anyway, so it sits for 4 minutes like that.
Yep. So at 4 minutes, we do the break, and that's when we take into account the smell. You got to get down in there and smell the coffee right as you break it, and that's like the strongest aroma you're going to get of the whole thing. It's a very important part of the cupping process. And then that's when.
So funny if that would have fallen in your cup of coffee there.
Yeah, it would have been great. I would have been super stoked. I'm sure Steve Jobs would love to replace it for free as soon as it fell in the coffee. But we'll see.
We don't want it to ruin our cup of coffee there.
No, I don't know why they're falling out so bad. My ears do not hold them well.
Huh? Does that mean you're just not very good at listening?
I try to be a great listener, but maybe it's indicative. Maybe that's what it wants me to do.
Oh.
So yeah, we're going to start with the Ethiopia. This is the natural, so it's kind of known for its very fruity nature. And what a natural process is compared to what most of you have probably drank from everywhere, most places, or most Starbucks, most McDonald's, every gas station coffee, most of that is going to be a washed bean, which that means right when they pick it, before they let it out to dry on the patio, they completely remove the cherry, the mucilage, everything off of it. So it's just the raw green bean, which I'll show you later when we're out there. And that's going to rest on the patio before they bag it, send it to us. Then we send it to Regina. She roasts it. It's great. But so that's a washed coffee. They just let it sit out on the patio. For a natural process, all right, we're at 4, so I'm going to start breaking. But the natural, they leave it in the cherry with the mucilage. And here, when we're going to break, we're going to do it really light. We don't want to agitate the beans at the bottom, just like you wouldn't want to walk the plank from the cowboy coffee boiling. Right. We don't want to make the beans, so we're going to go really light, dip our spoon in between each time we change the cup. So already it's smelling like a fruit salad. It's really nice. You get the coffee in there, but it's so much berry, so like overly fruity. I get red apple a little bit. It's a really nice cup. Now we're going to break the Guatemala, which is the washed process, much more typical.
And so that Ethiopian was a Natural process?
Yeah, that one's a natural.
Okay.
So that's when they leave it in the cherry with the mucilage all around it, and right when they take that off before they mill it. This one is they shred it all off before they even let it sit at all. So that gives this bean a chance to ferment, and it's almost more like a wine. And yeah, the Guatemala is just, it almost smells like a brownie to me. Once you're doing it for a while, you stop smelling the coffee and you only smell the things that are kind of what you're looking for. And this one is just so chocolatey. It's just amazing. So now I'm going to scrape off the top layer, the oils. And I'm really bad at this, so I'm going to be dead silent. It's really fun to do this when you have like 60 coffees to taste and you're just walking around slowly getting this oil off the top.
Well, that's interesting. So those of you who are around here, we're going to go out and try this. You know, we should set up a time sometime and do a cupping now that he's taught me how.
I can't imagine the cupping with you would be very fun and very, very hard to taste the coffee because the conversation would be so great.
Well, it's hard to get me to shut up, that's for sure. So yeah, we could do it right out there in the roastery. I got the stainless steel table and you know, and I've got those cups that look just like that. And we can do like maybe 4 people at a time. Hey, Cadence is here, and Laura's here, Amanda's here. Oh dear, everybody's showing up. This is fabulous, fabulous. Okay, are you ready to start slurping?
I'm going to wait a little bit. We usually start at about 12 minutes. Let it cool a little bit because it'll just burn my mouth a lot if I went in right now. But some people do
that. Okay. So at what temperature will that be at 12 minutes?
Should be down probably more to 180 is my assumption. I don't really know the temperature science of it that much, but that's when it's at least cool enough that it doesn't destroy my mouth when I take a sip.
Right. No, I understand that. But what was the temperature when you dumped it into the cup? Was it boiling then or just off the boil?
Yeah, just off boil.
Okay. So you stopped that thing and walked across the room and that's just off the boil enough probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it just sits for a little bit. The cups, they're not pre-warmed or anything. So it does cool down just a bit, just going in that ceramic, which is good. But yeah, still usually wait till about 12 minutes and gives the coffee to brew. It usually is a little too early in the brewing process if you start, or at least earlier than 10 minutes. So we usually start at 12 and we're at 9:25 right now. But while they're doing that, I can show you kind of I'm going to show you the flavor wheel.
Oh, right. I used to have one of those hanging in the coffee shop back when we had one.
Yeah. So this is what we use as we're tasting. If we're having trouble coming up with a note, this wheel really helps. It kind of has the like 8 or 9 kind of in the middle there. That's like fruity, the sour fermented notes, the green vegetative notes, floral, sweet, nutty, cocoa, spices, and roasted flavors. And then it kind of just branches out into the many different things that could be. So for fruity example, there's berry, dried fruit, other fruits, citrus fruits. And then
there's one that says motor oil on there, isn't there?
There is a motor oil that's in the, or that might be in the, oops, that might be in the scent part of it, but I'll show you the scent one in a while. Right here, there's some pretty bad ones though. Rubber, skunky, petroleum, medicinal. You really don't want to, you really aren't looking for petroleum when you're cupping. And
yeah,
these are,
or that's funny. I always got a kick out of that.
for sure.
Oh, look at that. I've never seen that chart now.
Yeah, so sorry, I can't really see because it's on the front camera, but these are the 10 cupping attributes. So this is what we're looking for while we're tasting. So you go from fragrance and aroma, the flavor, the aftertaste, and the aftertaste can completely change compared to the flavor, which, so you're scoring those both at a separate points. There's acidity, the body, which I know the body's your favorite. It's got to be a heavy body, very juicy mouthfeel. That's what I like too. The balance, and that is how all of those work together. The first 5, there's the sweetness. The clean cup is how it actually looks, how the coffee itself looks. Uniformity is that they all make sure they taste the same, that there's no inconsistencies. That's why we actually have the 2 different cups going at the same time.
Oh, nice. I wondered about that.
Yeah, and then and that's so you could see if there's a difference between either one of them. That's not a good thing. You're not looking for that. There's beautiful sunny California. While I have you off the light pod real quick. Very sorry.
That is just fascinating.
This is my first time being on a show, so I'm sorry.
What are you apologizing for?
This is my first time being live, so I'm just doing my absolute best.
Oh, you're doing fine.
I think wonderful show.
They're calling it Regina's Coffee School 101-2. So that's nice. I hope you guys are all enjoying this out there. I'm totally, there's a question. Keurig or not to Keurig? I use reusable pods I fill with Regina's coffee.
Okay.
And you want to answer that? That's cool.
I think so we actually have this right here. This is a K-Cup machine. You just put the ground coffee in the top. It makes 2 at a time and pushes them out. They come out just a little Bodhi leaf K-Cup. And nice. People do hate on K-Cups, but I think if they are reusable and not or they're going to compost, I think that they're okay. And as long as the quality of the coffee in there is good, then I see no issues with K-Cups. I think some people are a little snooty about them, but we make sure that ours taste really good.
Well, I'm certainly snooty about them. And you brought up a thing that's kind of a pet peeve of mine is packaging. And so they make those K-Cups that they can be compostable.
Yeah, there's so many companies that make them compostable. And I think that's what people should strive to do. It's cheaper to, of course, go the other route, but even now there's some places that can make the compostable ones cheaper than the plastic. So I think early on in the K-Cups, like Keurig machine, that it might have been kind of frowned upon because people would say, oh, they're all going to go in landfills. But I think that that's not how it is as much anymore. I think a lot of people are striving to do better.
Okay, perfect. I like to hear that. So here's the other thing that I want to ask about that is because I use like a craft paper bag, for my coffees because it's compostable and they leak enough because I don't have a seal on them that I don't need a valve in them, but for every plastic valve in one of those plastic bags, is all going to the landfill. Is that not correct? Or the bags that your coffee is in there, are those compostable?
I'm not sure. I think that we do strive to do that, but I don't work on that side of the thing. I do the green coffee with you. So the roasted, I'm not sure, but we're always looking to improve and do better. So hopefully they are. And we're just about to start with a craft bag. So we're moving away from the plastic in general.
Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
for telling me that. Because I often, get complaints because we don't do a lot of organic coffees, and we kind of downplay them every once in a while where I'm buying an organic coffee and you guys haven't built it up to be anything super duper, and then so many of the retailers want organic coffee and then they put it in these plastic bags, which is more of a deterrent to the, just my little soapbox that I get on. And Steve and I have talked a little bit about organic coffees with some of the growers too, and that they're not always like the shoot that's filling the big bag goes into an organic bag and then it turns around and goes into one that's not, and vice versa. And so what do you know about that?
I know that the bigger farms and the bigger companies are usually the ones that can afford the organic certification. So a lot of the smaller farms that do all of the proper things just can't afford to get their coffee certified organic. There's a lot that goes into it. It's a whole topic and show on its own.
Right.
But we typically only buy about 2 or 3 organic coffees a year, just because there's not a whole lot of reason. It's harder to maintain it. You have to do a lot of special things to make sure it stays organic. And honestly, the quality is usually right there or lower than what we're usually getting. And our smaller farms don't sell organic coffees anyways, the people we work with specifically. So there's only a few that we actually do get that are organic. And I don't have much else to say about it because it's such a huge topic. There's so many factors that go into it. And companies like Starbucks and Nestle that can afford to pay the certification for the farms they buy from, I think a lot of it goes to there. But I really don't have a lot to say on the matter.
Okay. Well, that said a lot, actually, because that's kind of right along the lines of what Steve and I have talked about. And the other thing that you bring up is the fact that we pay more money for these coffees and they go to smaller farms because they're specialty coffees, they're hand-picked and all of that. And so we're actually doing more good than what like Starbucks is actually doing stuff for commercial farms, right?
I don't want to talk bad on them, but I'll say that we do we don't even do fair trade. Fair trade is something a lot of people look for and ask me about all the time. We offer direct trade. So we trade directly with the farmers. Fair trade only guarantees a certain price fixed above the coffee market, where we sometimes will pay 3 to 4 times what a fair trade coffee would be. So you do pay more money to make sure that you're doing the right thing, helping the farmer the right way. You want to pay more, honestly, right now. If you're paying 90 cents for the coffee market coffee, they can barely survive as it is. So
right. That's really, you covered the points that I wanted to cover right there, is that you guys and us are doing the right thing with these farmers. We're paying more. And so it goes to the people who need it. And they have a better living than the more commercial people.
Yeah, we definitely love paying the higher dollar, and it's hard. That's the one thing with direct trade, is you need to build trust. That's why I know that you trust me and that we're doing that, but there is no certification for direct trade, which is why some people are so persistent on fair trade. But also comes that is you could be paying them barely enough to get by. But yeah, so we are actually at 20 minutes now, so we're a little bit past. So if you'd
like, oh my God,
yeah. So
we distracted you.
Oh, it's okay.
They're talking about.
You give me the tough questions here.
Well, I wanted to make you feel uncomfortable.
There you go. You did. You made it. Here we go. So I'm going to start with the Ethiopia. Oh, you can go.
Oh, they're talking about pantyhose in the chat room. Anyway.
Oh yeah, fun.
So do
We
that
must
again.
be we must be enthralling. So this is the Ethiopian natural. You just scoop right off the top, and you want to get it all over your whole mouth, your tongue, the back of the throat, everything kind of taste as much as you can at once. Some people slurp pretty loud. I try not to. Also, during COVID times, this is not how you usually would cup. I'm cupping alone, so it's safe. But when we cup with the team, we use one of these white cups and just pour directly in and then drink from that. So no spoons are touching. It's always a separate, nothing's touching. You would take this scoop in, pour it in a separate cup, drink it. So it's a lot safer. But right now, I'm just going to do it the old fashioned way because I'm alone.
Oh, okay.
But
so everybody would just take a spoon and put it into their cup and slurp it, and then okay,
yep.
Gotcha.
So we are COVID safe. I'm just doing this right now just to show you the easy way, but typically that's how we would cup as a team. So yeah, this Ethiopian natural right now, it's kind of cooling down really nicely. It's like watermelon, berry, just super straightforward fruits. There's a little bit of caramel on the back end and a little maybe roasted hazelnut, which is very nice. And then this is the Guatemala washed. This is more typical what you would find in regular gas station coffee. There's a much higher end, but this is more of the washed is what most Americans are used to drinking. And yeah, just so chocolatey. It's just brown sugar, milk chocolate. It's almost kind of like biting into a mandarin orange a little bit at the end. That's something that we're finding out of Guatemala. There's just been really nice citrus, different lime acidity, milk chocolate, all that blending together is just a really nice cupping really well, about 85.5 points, which ties those attributes I showed you. That's all of that combined. So the smell, the flavor, the aftertaste, that all builds to the final score. The unicorn score, I've never tasted really anything over a 91, like a really high-end shade-grown geisha is a 91 points. That's pretty hard to find nowadays. We typically work with coffees that are about 85 to 80, 88, 89. And those do really well. That's kind of the range we like. And whenever we can get one of those unicorn, like 91, 92 pointers, we try. But they're also just hard to find.
What are those geishas that you have on hand? I guess you're sold out, aren't you? Of that geisha, that Guatemalan geisha. What did it score?
So that one was, I believe, 88.75 to 89.25 between the team. Our average was right around there. And it was really, that was a great coffee. It was like biting into a mango, which you said a lot of your viewers might not know, but just head on down to the grocery store, ask for a mango. That's what the higher end coffee tasted like.
So Casey has a question here. And Regina, can we buy from him, or are they just wholesalers? You can buy coffee from those folks, but you can also get some of them from me too. But they have everything that they have for sale, and we're going to go out and see that here pretty soon because they have the roasted coffee section. They have a home roasters green bean section, and then there's the commercial section. And we're going to learn more about that here in a couple minutes.
And I would just say you should buy from Ray's Roasts and get it from Regina, because the more she buys, the better we do. It's a big chain. We're just the importer, and we do have roasted coffee in some cafes. But what I like to see is the bean get all the way down to the final roaster and see what their customers think of it. So I highly recommend Ray's Roast.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any other questions for the cupping before we go out on that tour?
So Lara is asked, should we use beans and grind them when we need them? And that is a definite, grind them when you need them.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you grind them, they are going stale basically. So we usually won't even pre-grind these until minutes before we're pouring the water.
Right.
Yeah,
As they say, what, 15 minutes between grinding and using? Otherwise, the coffee starts deteriorating. Is it
pretty much.
something like that? Yeah. And so I only grind. I remember one time that I had ground my coffee on a Friday afternoon, got sidetracked, and it was still sitting in my AeroPress on Monday morning. And I went ahead and drank, made that into coffee and regretted every sip of it. It was horrible. It was horrible, you know. So that's what, and can we get Guatemala's from Regina? I have Guatemalan coffee. I have the Huehue Tenango Shoal Shock. And I also have, and I roast that a little bit on the medium dark side. And then I have Guatemala San Antonio. And I can't remember what area that's from. But I've only got a little bit of the San Antonio left.
Yeah, that Shoal Shack is kind of from the same producer as this one that I'm drinking here, and it's even a higher quality, and we're sold out of that now. So I would definitely say if you could get it from Ray's Roast while you can, because it's an amazing coffee.
And it's one of my favorites right now. That and the Marsellesa Costa Rican.
Oh yeah, totally. It's an amazing one.
Yeah, those are my two favorites right now. Okay. Yeah, they're saying Ray's Roast is great coffee. Thank you, Casey. I was waiting for you to come through with that. What did you get for Christmas? Oh, anyway. Well, are you done there?
Yeah. Unless you have any other questions, I'm good to take you out on the tour if you'd like.
Oh, well, let's see if we got it. Have I missed any questions? I got the one from Lara and I got the one from Casey. We haven't even lost anyone yet. Are you? Oh, Simone. Environmentally friendly K-Cups. Yeah. Well, I wish everybody made environmentally friendly K-Cups. So let's do the tour.
Perfect. Sounds good.
So yeah, I think we're doing well here. Oh, here's a question. Wait a second.
All right.
Can you feature Tim's coffee beans and all my offerings come from Bodhi Leaf. I do not use any other coffee, and I have been tempted, but I can't ever find the quality and the customer service that I have grown accustomed to here at Bodhi Leaf. My first experience with these people, I was still home roasting, and I didn't get what I ordered, and I called up, and the next thing I know, I'm talking to the owner of Bodhi Leaf Coffee, and he's going, I don't understand what you're bitching about, but you got a better coffee. Give it a try, and then talk to me. And just because they care about what we think, even as a home roaster, it was a no-brainer that when I went commercial that I would do business. And Steve and I have talked a lot of times. He's just grown so much and Tim's so competent that I hardly ever talk to Steve now. But yeah, no, all my coffees come from these folks, and I really appreciate what they bring to my table. So
thanks, Regina. We really appreciate you as a customer as well. So
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And we usually end up talking about coffee for about 5 minutes, and then you enlighten me on all the aspects of the world and everywhere you've been, and it's always great talking to you. So it's a very fun relationship.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Here's another question that's really easy to answer. How long does coffee roasting usually take per batch? How long do you guys spend?
So our roaster, we'll go see it in a second. That one takes about, I think, 12 to 16 minutes, depending on how light or dark you're roasting it. Every roaster is a different size, though, so it can be completely different. It really depends on the size of the roaster. Like this one here, this is what we do the sample. This, even though it's small, this is a roaster. That's the Ikawa, and that takes about 6 to 8 minutes to do a batch, and it's a really small batch, but still a different time. So
well, I don't want to get into the way I roast coffee, but I take a little bit longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
By choice. My roaster will roast coffee in that 10 to 15 minute category. And,
for sure.
But I choose to stretch it out a little. And I think that's part of my, I don't want to get into too much detail, but I think that's part of Regina's shtick. My moisture content might be lower than what especially on a dark coffee, and I don't measure moisture, but I lose a lot. When you're doing it fast, you're coming up with a higher moisture content than what I do, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And I'm not really a roaster. I'm just a coffee lover. So
Yeah,
I'm not positive, but
so,
that's just usually the link. So we'll go out there and take a look at it right now.
Lara here. Hey, bye, Lara. It's good to see you today. And she's saying, nice to meet you, Tim.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming by. Sorry, just showing the roaster real quick. But yeah, so this is that's Steve's son, Cash. And this is the roaster. And it does 18-pound batches at a time. All of our coffee comes from that we supply all of our cafes to. And this is the cafe itself. This is our main flagship one. The baristas are working. Beautiful day. We have the roll-up doors, so we're allowed to have some outdoor seating, which is nice.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's that front area with the roaster. And then this is our warehouse. So beautiful day. We always have the door nice and down, keep the beans at a good temperature. This is the open bag section. So every coffee that we offer, like Regina said earlier, to the home roasters, we sell them by the 1 pound to 20 pounds in this home roaster range. So we're one of the first people to do that. Steve was just opening bags and allowing people to kind of taste it. We have everything. A lot of people do it now, but Steve has always been insistent on making sure that even a hobbyist 1 pound roaster can try some of the best coffees in the world. So we offer pretty much everything that we have here. There's a few exclusive lots that'll stay just for commercial customers, but for the most part, we do put them on the open bag section. So we ship these out every day, Monday through Friday. We're filling up huge amounts. These are just some of the ones going out today of green coffee here, all packaged and ready to go. Oh yeah, and then I'll show you some green coffee, but this is what it looks like before it's roasted. These are the green beans. So you'd think it would smell like coffee and smell amazing back here, but it doesn't smell like coffee at all, not roasted coffee at least. This is what it is pre-roasted. But yeah, so that's the open bag section, and then this is where we actually have all the full-size giant bags that come from all the different regions. So this is like a lot of the Guatemalan right here. Then this is the Ethiopian stack, Colombia. And these right now we're kind of at our lowest point because we're at the start of the harvest. So basically by July it's going to be wall to wall coffee everywhere you could see. But right now it's kind of lighter. But we are getting.
So as those beans start coming in, what year were they grown?
So those will be called 2020, 2021 crop. So 2021, okay. Yeah. So, but basically we'll just call them 21 grown, but they are started and planted in 2020. So some of them are all just in 1 year, but for the most part, the crop year is the year previous and the current year.
Uh-huh.
And then, like we ship them in these Grain Pro bags, and if these green bags are sealed and properly stored, these coffees can taste just as good in a year and a half, 2 years, when they're past the usual crop date. But the Grain Pro really makes it so it's not that much of an issue, and the coffee still tastes really amazing. But yeah, so we have tons of different coffees. These are the geishas. These are some more geishas. This is a really special varietal called Pink Bourbon. I did the art on my iPad, and then they sent it from Colombia with that, which is pretty cool. That's what my parents like.
So I get
to send them the art.
You're pretty proud of that artwork you did.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. We all get to just play around. This one is from our head roaster, Ronnie, did this one, and it's kind of like a crying son into a river. Pretty cool. I like that one. Yeah, so it's pretty fun. We get to do a lot of the fun parts of doing the art on the bags. But yeah, so this is our big Bodhi wall. Some Sumatra over here. But yeah, basically we're pretty low on coffee right now, but it's going to start getting really packed back here soon.
So how has COVID affected your kind of business? I mean, I know that you've talked about not getting some coffees from some countries this year. Is it because sales are down?
Well, that was last year. We did skip a few containers earlier in the year because we just weren't sure what was going to happen. If we were going to, not that we were afraid of closing, but just you have no idea what's going to happen. So there were a couple coffees we weren't able to bring in last year, but now we're kind of back in the right flow, and we've made it work. Really, the only thing that's affecting us right now is first of all, a few people buying less just because people can't have seating in their cafes, which definitely hurts. Oh, there's Steve, by the way. Always watching. Nice.
Right.
He's the owner. But yeah, so that's really people that aren't able to have.
There.
Yeah, big red beard. It's a requirement. Yeah. Not really. But yeah, so that, and then the ports are just really backed up right now. We're having a lot of trouble getting coffees actually from the port, and I think that's COVID related. But
so you will have Nicaraguans and El Salvador.
We will.
In.
Yeah, we will this year. We have some really good.
Nothing finer than an El Salvadoran honey Bourbon.
Nope, it's a fine coffee to be sure.
I just love that.
Yeah, that one, we'll be getting those, and the Nicaragua's in a couple months. Maybe the Nicaragua might already be on the water, so hopefully we'll have that by maybe April at the latest.
Oh, nice. Because I always like a good Nicaraguan Pacamara too.
Yeah, definitely. Pacamara is a bigger bean and has a lot of interesting qualities to it for sure.
Comes popping out of the roaster about the size of an almond.
Yeah.
And there's that Miata back there.
Oh yeah. This is our ramp that we do with our forklift, which so every coffee you've ever bought has come down this ramp. Well, since we moved here, and then we have all our pallets that wait to ship out right there, and it's pretty nice. It's a really fun place to work. Steve just has a very good family environment, and I really enjoy the job. It's a great place.
So there's is coffee picked by hand or machine picked? So you want to answer that, or you want me to?
I don't mind. It is both. Countries like Brazil have the infrastructure where they have machines that pick it, and like bigger countries like Vietnam as well. They have the ability to have that and the straight rows and stuff like that. But then there's countries that we work with, Colombia, for example, where it's on such like a steep hill that there's no way a machine could do it, and those are all picked by hand. So it's kind of a mix. Most of the ones that you would drink from Brazil are probably machine picked, but a lot of the other countries don't have that infrastructure and are picked by hand. At least the specialty lots that we get.
Well, these special by hand too, aren't they?
So what
Like
ones?
all of these specialty coffees that you have is they get picked numerous times because all the bad beans get picked out of them.
Yes. All of them but the Brazil. The Brazils that we have are machine picked, but they are really high quality and they are careful.
Right. Huh,
But,
okay. But you don't really carry that many Brazilian coffees, or you hadn't. I noticed that the last couple of times I've looked at your offerings, there's more Brazilians right now than there has been.
yeah, so we always try to keep them in stock. This is actually a picture of me learning how to ride a horse in Brazil on the farm. This is from the Brazil Salto Estate, and they're one of my favorite people to work with. They have a great coffee. But yeah, I was about to have 90 heart attacks while I rode that horse, and it's pretty fun. That was from Brazil.
Where's your cowboy hat? You know?
Uh-huh. Luckily, no cowboy hat.
Oh, we're so disappointed.
I'm very sorry. I had a "We Support Coffee Growers" hat on though, so I feel good about that because the growers are who matters.
So yeah. Well, very nice.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. It's been really fun to talk and share our relationship with the world where we goof off and talk about that kind of stuff. Coffee is the least interesting thing we talk about, I'd say, but pretty fun.
Oh, Tim. Stop it now. They'll know all of our secrets. But yeah, I'm headed your way. You're going to wine and dine me, and everything's going to be wonderful. And we're going to drink some serious coffee.
Absolutely. Let's get those vaccines and make it happen.
Hey, I got my second shot yesterday.
Oh, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. I wasn't, God, last night, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it today. It was kicking my butt. I was worn out. I went and roasted coffee last night and I had to quit. I just got too tired. It really fatigues you. And then I was talking to somebody and they were telling me if you don't get kind of sick from your second shot, then it hasn't worked very well. And my arm, this is about as much as I want to move it. And then I was really fatigued last night and I'm really not in top form.
I would never have known. You did a great show.
Oh, Tim, you're so kind. So anyway, but I'm stoked. I got my. If Regina disappears, we will know where she went.
Southern California.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But we won't take you to Disneyland, I promise.
Well, what if I want to go?
You said it's your biggest nightmare.
Well, during COVID days, there wouldn't be anybody there. And so it might be okay to go then.
I think you'd be surprised. I think people are still camped out waiting for it to reopen. So
Really? Anyway,
We're
the
about
girls are saying thank you. What a great presentation. And, and I'm saying thank you and thank you so much. I learned a lot today, and I hope everybody else did too. It's been fascinating. This part right here, the whole coffee cupping thing, that really was helpful to me. So
nice. I'm really glad. Well, thank you for having me on, and also thanks for being such a great customer and being so fun to work with. So it's always a pleasure to chat with you.
well, thank you, because I really like doing business with you and your company. It's just been fabulous over, God, what's it been now? I've been a customer of Boat Ali for what, 7 years, 6 years?
Yeah, longer than me. I think I started
Yeah.
here 6 years ago, and you were here prior to me. So you've been here a lot longer.
Yeah, you're just kind of new kid on the block, and you've
I
been,
know.
you've been around long enough for us to get acquainted and become friends, and so that's cool. So, oh my gosh. Well, I'll kick you out then, and we'll talk to you in a few days or weeks. I'm starting to get low on coffee again. So,
Sounds good. We'll have some great new stuff for you when you call back.
all right, all right. I
Thanks
look
for having
forward.
me.
Hey, thanks for coming. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, Regina.
And so there you have it. And so there, Tim has been kicked. Wasn't that fun? He just did such a great job giving us a tour today. I hope you guys will like the different show to go do that. And I because I sometimes, oh, a reading? Should I do a reading? I didn't get sure. Heidi's leaving. Hey, take care, Heidi. Good to see you today. Oh my gosh, my dog is out there and wants in. I don't know if I've ever read this one before, but this is from a book titled Wild Mercy, Mirabai Star. And oh, you want me to read about coffee? No, you're getting this community and the web of interbeing. And so we will have, oh, poor Tank, dog abuse. Oh no, he's not abused. He's barking pretty lightly because he's got the bark collar on, but much to my chagrin, he's barking at all. Okay, here you go. You feel special. Sometimes this feels like a curse, like no one will understand you ever. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Why is my phone going off? There we go. Like you will always be an alien walking among regular humans, pretending to blend in. You have learned to live with this gulf, but what you really crave is community. You long to belong to the human family, to Mother Earth. Participating in the human condition can be bewildering. It's just not always cozy and easy. Rather, it's humbling at best, downright humiliating when it's not flowing. It can seem so much simpler to ride solo, slaying your own dragons and singing the ballads you wrote about yourself. Collaboration can be tedious and the prevailing masculine value system may have conditioned you to feel like you are giving away your power when you share it with others. So what? Give it away. The time of the singular sage bestowing his unique wisdom is over. That was a method devised by the men in charge to regulate wisdom. They taught us to suffer alone. They taught us to suffer alone in the desert for 40 years, collecting our insights in a secret box labeled esoteric knowledge. Then we were supposed to dispense those insights stingily to those who prove themselves worthy by also suffering alone for the requisite 40 years in the desert. I love that. I love that. And so this is where the divine mother comes in and our knowledge. We share our lives and our spirit, and you know, this is this is what life is us sharing our community, our wisdom, our knowledge, and our love, you know, and doing the best that we can to stay in that love, that, you know, that we are loving awareness, and that's the love that we put out there. And so, whoa, what a day. We like extended our community. Tim is so cool. I love talking with him, and you know, over time, I mean, now we just call each other up and chit chat. And well, Simone, you just get right here, and we will get everybody local here together. And what's Casey got going here? We may be different people, different person, but in the end, we are connected in our shared experiences. When we come together and learn from each other, there is community. That is the essence of it all, right there. Thanks, Casey. Oh my. So somebody can't get a shot till July. Where do you live at, Simone? Are you a long ways away, or just a little bit of a long ways away? Is Louise leaving? So next week is Louise week. And so, Louise, I'm going to talk to you here in the next day or two, because we got to make a plan, because we're going to do a duet. And oh, cool. Yeah, you're not very far away. Anyway, we'll see you later, Louise. Is everybody down in Texas back to normal? Louise is good, I think, because Galveston thawed out. Audrey, I was talking with her yesterday, and I have not seen her again. But yep, Louise week. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, everybody's kind of like ready to go. We're starting to lose numbers here, and so let's just wrap it up. You know, I got things to do. The sun is shining outside. My dog wants to come in, and Oh gosh, I got another appointment at 4 o'clock, so I need to go walk the dog between now and 4 o'clock. Oh, do it. Back to normal all over. Where did we go? Where did we go? Well, Ray's Roast is just the name of the company, L'Issoire and L'Issoire. And so we have a lot of single origin varietals, and then I have the one blend that is the Queen's blend, as me being the Queen. And we're ultra high quality. So I have coffees from Ethiopia. Oh gosh, where all do I have for now? Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, Colombia, El Salvador. I'm really kind of addicted to El Salvadoran coffees. I like Nicaraguan coffees. I don't have any Nicaraguans right now. But we have a lot of different coffees. I always have a couple from Indonesia. And whatever Bodai Leaf Coffee Company has is I mean, I don't have all of their coffees. My gosh, that would break this bank. But I usually have like 12, 13, 14 different coffees. And usually I sell a single origin varietals, except for that one blend, which is the espresso blend that I sell to the coffee shops and whatnot. And I do 2 different roasts on it. I do a very light roast as requested, and then I do a darker roast that I like to use in espresso. So check out my website. We're in kind of like a process of redoing the web page, but I keep forgetting to take pictures of the town. I know the webmaster wanted me to do that, and I've just been procrastinating, waiting for brighter days. And here's one here today. Our town here is just kind of like all of a sudden a ghost town. It seems like between COVID and all the small businesses, it's like my coffee shop closed down, and I'm just a coffee roaster anymore. And so like downtown is just kind of empty. It's kind of sad. I was talking to the owner of the building that my coffee shop was in yesterday, and gosh. So yeah, if you have trouble finding what you're looking for on the website, just give me a holler. I mean, it's pretty easy to find me on Facebook because there's a Ray's Roast page. But the other thing too is just contact me directly on the Regina Welder page, and I should put the links in on YouTube. But I'm just kind of technologically unadept and a little slow and busy, So yeah, love take pictures of the nearby nature. Oh yeah. I should do that. My hiking partner, she's stopped. She like is an anchor to me when we go hiking, because she's gotten really good at taking these cool pictures. And if I stop and take pictures with her, then mine come out looking so bad. and hers looks so good that I really feel self-confident about it, and or self-conscious about it. So I've gotten to where when I'm hiking, the other thing that I want to leave my phone at home because I just hate it. I hate the damn phone because I'm always looking at it. I'm trying to cut down on my screen time, and since I've been locked at home, it's gotten up really, really high, and I'm slowly working it down. But I feel kind of like when I'm out in nature that it's sacrilege to have my phone out there. So I'd rather take the camera, and the camera's heavy. Anyway, I'm making excuses up. I will do and then maybe I can do a slideshow one day and take some, show you guys where I'm walking and some of the river pictures, and because every day I walk beside the river with my dog, but I'm usually taking pictures of the dog. Well, I could do that, Simone, because I'll see if she'll put together a slideshow of some of her better pictures, and we'll give her all the cool and because now she's trying to watermark all her pictures because she's really gotten quite good. And God, she's been posting springtime pictures from last year, and they're fabulous. It's got everybody wanting springtime to come when we're still a month or so away. But I'll ask her and see what she says. She might do it. She might not. So anyway, you guys, what a great day we've had today. I have thoroughly enjoyed your questions and your community and everything else, but I think it's time for me to go now. Holly's got to leave at 1:30 and it's 1:29 right now. So anyway, 1:30 seems like a good time to end too. So thank you, Christy. This was a great show. Regina, thank you. Thanks for being part of it. And thank you, Casey and Christy, for being the moderators. And we made it an hour and a half. Yeah. Bye-bye, Holly. Take care. Bye, Liswa and Simone. And who else is still here? Sarah. How could I forget Sarah? Bye, sweetheart. I look forward to, bye, Louise. I think she left. And who am I missing? Heidi already left. Eva has been quiet. If Eva's still here, bye-bye, sweetie. And who else am I missing? So anyway, goodbye, all. Thank you so much. Love you. Love what we do each Wednesday here. I can't live without this. It's just too much fun. And there's Eva. So yeah. Where is this guy going to take us? So let's see. If you guys got any ideas, let me know. And, here I am saying goodbye. I've been saying goodbye for 10 minutes now. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe. Don't forget to love each other. Amen to that, Casey. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, for saying, Louise is still here. Bye-bye. Take care, you guys. Love you and thank you so much. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye-bye. Love y'all.